So I was chatting with one of my online friends the other day. He's a guitarist, he's been teaching himself, he's found his way around the pentatonic scale now, and he's reasonably good at playing over the pentatonic scale. He knows the positions, he can move freely between them. He's got a good mental picture of what's going on the neck when he's playing in different keys as well. So this is all really good. What he wants to do is he wants to add a few more notes. He wants to get into 3 notes per string licks, be able to start dropping in those and using those freely as well. But his mental image is very sort of pentatonic. And when he starts to play 3 notes per string scales, he kind of loses where he is. He doesn't have that image built up, if you see what I mean. So what I said to him, I said, have you ever thought about playing with some of the CAGED principles? And he said, no. He said, you know, really, I'm into my blues, I'm into my rock, I'm into my minor keys, whereas CAGED is all cowboy chords and cheese, is how he described it. And I said, it doesn't have to be like that. You can absolutely use these CAGED principles around minor keys as well. And the really powerful thing is that what you do is you're building on these different scale philosophies. So you can build from the pentatonic, from the blues scale. You can add the minor scale, in your case, on top of that. You can add minor chords on top of that, and you can build sort of a holistic view of the neck. The other thing you can do is you can take that philosophy and move it into 3 notes per string as well. That's perfectly doable, and that's something I've talked about in the past as well. So what I thought I'd do this week is just show you each of the positions, show you what's going on in my mind when I'm playing in any of the pentatonic positions and I want to drop into one of the minor scales, just to show you what's kind of going on as I work my way up the neck. Okay, so let's start with the classic pentatonic scale. So I'm going to play in the key of A minor. So everyone should know that's the shape on the 5th fret for the pentatonic scale. And there's my bar chord, so it's that E minor shape, moved up to the 5th fret, makes an A minor chord, yeah? And the classic scale shape for this is this one. Just there. And I actually almost never use that fingering. My preference is to keep much closer to the pentatonic scale shape, and the difference really is what happens around the D and the G string, because what I normally do is this. So I reach out there for my B. And that just allows my index finger to just track that 5th string, just like it does when you play the pentatonic, yeah? The only time I'd move down to that 4th fret is if I was playing or wanted to move into a 3 notes per string line. Because I know that's a shape that sits around here as well, yeah? Okay, so the next position sits just there, which sits on that D minor bar chord shape just there, yeah? And the classic scale shape here is this one. Yeah, which I use quite a bit actually. I will move out of it if I wanted to play 3 notes per string, in which case I'll stretch out on that B and the E string otherwise. It's that same shape, but sitting on that minor chord there. Yeah, okay. So the 3rd position looks like this, 3rd position pentatonics. And the chord is quite a difficult one to play fully, but I think of it as sort of a C minor shape. And often you just play those inner 3 strings. if we were playing the chord. But as I've said in previous videos, really you're just using the chord to spot the root notes and where the fifths and the thirds are. So there's a third and there's a fifth there. There's my root note as well. There's my pentatonic. And the scale that fits on top is this one. So there's a classic position. And often again, when I'm playing 3 notes per string, much of this is very the same, but it's just these last 2 strings I'll stretch out to give me a 3 notes per string scale shape. But otherwise, these are very similar shapes again. Okay, so the 4th position pentatonic's just here. Yeah, and the scale shape that sits on top is this one. Yeah, and I'll use that quite a lot actually, just that position as it stands. The only times I vary this is if I want to drop into 3 notes again, and then it depends on the direction I'm coming at it from. If I'm descending, what I'd do is I'd stretch out on the G string. Or if I'm ascending up, I'd stretch out on that G string. But often I'll just stay with a standard caged. Yeah. Okay, so the 5th position pentatonic is just here. And the minor chord is kind of a G minor bar chord kind of shape. Again, it's not a chord I particularly use to play, I just use it to kind of spot these root notes and where the 3rd and the 5th. So the chord just tells me where the important notes are really in the pentatonic and in the scale, yeah. And if we play the classic caged position, it would be this one. And if you do the 3 notes per string variant, it's pretty much identical. The only difference is that you stretch out for that extra note. You add another note on the top E and on the bottom E as well. Just there. Otherwise, these scale positions are pretty much identical. As you've probably seen, I don't fit into any one particular philosophy. I'll cherry pick one or the other depending on where I want to go with the music at any particular time. And actually it's really quite straightforward to do. If it's something you want to investigate, then you should check out my other video which kind of unifies caged and 3 notes per string and shows you how straightforward it is to migrate from one to the other. So check that out. I'll PDF all of the graphics that I used in this video. I'll put those online as well, and I'll put a link in the description, so feel free to download that. If you want to improve your guitar technique, your knowledge, your music theory, then consider subscribing to the channel because I'm pushing new content out all the time. So feel free to do that. Otherwise, we'll chat next time. Goodbye.